I stand with Dan Campbell. He made the right call in both times going for it on fourth down. Here is why. All season long, the Lions have been the aggressive team. They have gone for it the most in the NFL. That is who they are. Going for it on fourth down, whether you like it or not, is part of their identity. And the NFC title game is not the time you get away from your identity. That is the time you lean into it. So if you are an aggressive team all season long, like the Lions have been, then you remain aggressive. Fourth down and 3. With 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, down by 3. When you have a chance to be conservative and tie the game, or go for it with your offense, keep them there, try to score a touchdown and take the lead, you go for it. When you are that close to the Super Bowl, you don't now get away from who you are. You stick to your guns. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I don't understand the outrage towards Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down twice. Number one, that's who he is. That's who he's been all season long, and didn't clam up in the biggest game of the season like we've seen many players and coaches do over the course of time. That's number one. And number two, the subsequent drive after the Niners got the stop on 4th and 3 with 7.5 minutes to go, that proved Dan Campbell right. Because immediately after the Lions were stopped on 4th down and 3, the 49ers went right down the field, 70 yards, 7 plays, 4.5 minutes, touchdown. Dan Campbell knew he was going to have to win this game with his offense. And he was proven right, because as soon as the ball was turned over, and by the way, the San Francisco own 28-yard line, you're still backed up in your own end, they went right down the field, no problem. They went down with ease. He knew with the way the momentum of the game has switched, his defense was not going to get a stop to keep the Lions in the game if they decided to tie it. He knew, I got to win this game with my offense. And that's why he went for it. I have no problem whatsoever. I'm all in on going for it. Dan Campbell made the absolute right decision, not once, but twice in going for it. If you want to get upset about a call, here's what you should be upset about. Down by 10, 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter, 3rd and goal, Ben Johnson calls a run play that gets stuffed. Why is that a big deal? Because the Lions had used their first timeout, which meant no matter if they kicked the field goal or scored a touchdown there, their season then came down to an onside kick. If you throw the ball on 3rd down, whether you score on that play or not, you at least preserve your 3 timeouts. So that way, you at least, even if you can't get the onside kick, have a chance to get 3 stops, get the ball back with a little time in order to try to win the game. But burning a timeout there basically ended the game. I mean, the onside kick is impossible. In this day and age, you can't get it. So that right there, running the ball and getting stuffed on 3rd down and using that first timeout with 1 minute to go, which forced you then to basically have your season come down to an onside kick, I thought that was more egregious than Dan Campbell going for it on either 4th down. He's aggressive all year, or he has been aggressive all year. You stick to your guns when the season is on the line. You don't shy away from who you are. I give Dan Campbell a lot of credit. I think he was in the right for going for it. And just because I agree doesn't mean that Dan Campbell now, after the game, can't rethink that and say, yeah, hindsight, maybe I should have kicked the field goal. Dan Campbell at the podium after the game. Dan, did you have any regrets on going for it on 4th down? Here's a Lions coach answer.
I just felt really good about us converting and getting our momentum and not letting them play long ball. They were bleeding the clock out. That's what they do. And I wanted to get the upper hand back, and it's easy hindsight, and I get it, I get that. But I don't regret those decisions, and that's hard. It's hard because, we didn't come through. It wasn't able to work out, but I don't. And I understand the scrutiny I'll get. That's part of the gig, man. But, we just didn't work out.
I give Dan Campbell a lot of credit in the sense that he's sticking by his guns, no regrets. That, to me, is the way you should approach that. And I don't think you should apologize for who you are. It got you to this point, which is the NFC title game. Don't now shy away from what got you there in the first place.